What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the All In Podcast, a podcast for casual leaguers and TeamFight Tactics players. I think I should put that now because we are doing TeamFight Tactics now. But today we have a segment on patch notes, regular league, patch notes 9.16. We're going to give you the rundown on that. And today I am joined by Stylonum123, Nighthawk, and Sejunapigle. You guys, thank you for joining the show. I just want to go down real quick, see how you guys doing, how your games have been going, or what you've been up to. Let's start with you, Style. How have things been going on the Rift for you?
I haven't been playing that much.
Whack!
I usually just normals or flex.
Dude,
flex
man.
Is dead, though.
Ranked is life, man. You know, if you're not playing ranked, then what are you doing with your life? I'm just kidding. But seriously, though, how's your games been going, though, for flexed and norms? See anything unusual?
Okay. I've been playing a lot of Ari.
Oh, Ari.
She is getting a new skin.
Wow, there it is, man.
Hey, you're telling me I can't save up for my Eternals?
Hey, man, just do it. Do it. Okay, sounds good. Nighthawk, how you doing, man? How's things on the Rift? How's everything?
I'm having a fun time. I've been bouncing between roles a lot, trying to see what's going to be fun. Not enjoying jungle quite as much as I used to, so trying out mid, trying out AD carry, all those stuff. It's always fun to give your main role a break every now and then.
Absolutely. I totally know what you mean. I think league ADD, so I'm always switching things up. Sejuna, how I know you just said that you've been kind of lazing around the past 2 weeks. Have you been able to do any games on the Rift, or how's everything going?
I've done a couple, just a couple support games here and there, mainly enchanters, just sticking with my Yuumi, my Janna, my Nami. But yeah, I've been playing a little bit more, just not to a point where I'd like to be. I'm going to definitely start playing more this patch. I'm quite excited for this patch. So.
Gotcha. Nice, man. Yeah, and as Style pointed out in the chat, I said I like to switch things up, but I have been playing Nami again. But here's what's happened, right? I've been playing so much TFT that just playing ranked again is a switch up for me. So there you go. I've actually brought it back. And since it's been a while, I had to go to my comfort pick, which is Nami. And I've been spamming her. I've been doing pretty well. Today I went 1-2, so not the greatest, but yesterday went undefeated. So slowly but surely, I'm starting to get my groove back into things. So far, it's going all right. So we'll have to see how things go. But that's what we're here for today, is the patch notes, to kind of give you an update on everything happening around in 9.16. And before we get into that, I wanted to talk briefly about a Reddit post that I had found, and this is perfect timing because Eternals is coming out, right? And so it's this thing that you can purchase to kind of show off some more swag or flair when you go past Mastery 7. I don't know all the details of it. Maybe you guys can fill in some of the gaps, but I think what I've been seeing a lot on Reddit are a lot of complaints, basically because it feels like Mastery is supposed to be a display of your skill or your time spent in the game, but yet again, Riot is making you spend money. And now comes the issue of Riot in the past year seemingly becoming kind of what looks like to many people a little bit greedy, trying to get money from their users as opposed to balancing the game around, us as a majority player base, but balancing it more around pro play and making skins for things that are, just mostly played as opposed to champs that really need it. So anyways, I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this. Let me just point out some highlights real quick on this post that I'm particularly pulling out here, and I'll put the link out for those of you guys in Twitch chat if you guys want to follow along with me. But some of the things that the poster mentioned was that, one, they slowly started raising RP prices to the point that ultimate skins are now over £20. Or is that euro? I think that's euro. The Odyssey event was 11 months ago, and they like to argue that last time an event over cash grab was warranted. So it was more of an event. Now everything seems to be more cash grab. And the user says that Season 9 has kind of been the worst year to buy anything from the game. And it seems to be completely warped on the player base view of Riot. So things that they say like prestige skins, selling them for a lot, TFT, even though the poster says they like it, doesn't seem like it was properly introduced. Seems like there are a lot of bugs. I think it's okay, but there are definitely some bugs that need to go get fixed. But basically, the main point was that Eternals are kind of the culmination, paying for a sense of pride and accomplishment. And what I want to get your thoughts on this, and let me start with you, Nighthawk. What do you think? As this kind of mentality that Riot seems to be going through, do you think this is the case, or do you think this Reddit is kind of overblowing proportions, which they tend to do? But I want to get your thoughts on this. Do you think Riot's kind of moving in a bad direction here?
I would always take everything that you see on the front page of Reddit, especially after a scandal with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. Reddit does have the tendency to fixate on one thing and blow it out of proportion. I'm not saying that not everything that Reddit's saying is completely false. Obviously, Riot has been focusing a lot more on the revenue recently. The prestige skins, Eternals, Little Legends, all of these things have a lot of they have a large potential for money. Like, you can't just buy what you want. You have to either roll for skins or get points or buy a pass or do stuff like that. So it definitely does seem like Riot is switching to more of a whale focus, where they're looking for maybe a fewer larger clients instead of a lot of small clients. But to be a little more fair to Riot, it is a very large business. They have thousands of employees. They're literally have offices around the globe. I think more than 20 offices or something like that. Yeah. They have to make money. They make the video game. They still haven't gone to any level where purchasing anything gives you an advantage, so that's good.
Yeah, for sure. Still technically free to play.
Yeah, still free to play. There's a thing about buying champions, but
yeah.
I think that we're definitely seeing a little bit of a shift in Riot culture towards these microtransactions being a little bit more part of the game, but
yeah.
I don't think we've actually reached some sort of like great turning point that it seems like we're at.
And I think too, it kind of, the timing also was the fact that it seems that they're also not doing any more champion spotlights for rework champions. Apparently, people are saying that Riot's got budget cutbacks, and so not just the sense of cutbacks, but then also what seems to be like more opportunities for Riot to make money. I think the user base is all up in arms. Yeah.
You want another reason that Riot gave that they're not making champion spotlights for reworked champions anymore?
Yeah, why is that?
This is a hilarious reason. They say that the champions change too quickly and the spotlights become outdated, which I think is hilarious because it's 100% true.
Okay.
If you look at a release Akali from when she was reworked to now, she's completely different.
Yeah.
But I think that's not a good thing to say because you're admitting that your reworks are failing pretty massively.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Akali, Aurelia,
and now Pantheon
got rework.
Yeah,
Pantheon.
Yep. Yeah,
well,
for
Pantheon
sure.
hasn't changed yet, but all of these champions have been changed massively since the rework, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. Style Sejuna, let me get your thoughts on this, but also let me add that, one user commented, which I agree with him or her here, but they were saying that, there's a lot of things that they would gladly pay for, such as announcer packs, minion skins, skin maps, loading screen backgrounds, esport chromas or map accents, which I agree with. I would love to buy announcer packs. I know that for sure. Yeah. But it seems like Riot doesn't do that. It seems like they're making us buy money or spend money on things that seemingly we shouldn't have to spend money for, and things that we want to spend money for, they're not doing it. So what are your thoughts on that, Style? What are your thoughts on the Riot culture here?
So I do agree with like majority of this post, but there's like certain things that I feel like if he was gonna talk about how Eternals is a bad idea, he should have just stuck to Eternal. Because I feel like this is like going on so many different sidetracks. Like he goes into TFT, he goes into like Prestige, he goes into like Odyssey, he goes into like all these different things. And I think although some of those things are a problem, I think some of these aren't. Some of these things aren't a problem. Like the things like he literally starts the post with stuff about RP and how it went up. But it
Yeah.
only went up in Europe and mainly the UK because of the devaluation of the currency. It has nothing to
Okay.
do with the game. So it only went up in Europe. It didn't go up in NA.
Mhm.
And that's because the power of the currency changes.
Ah,
So you can't blame that on Riot.
definitely.
It's like if World of Warcraft said instead of paying £5 now, in say 3 or 4 years, they're going to start charging you £10, which is perfectly acceptable, right? As time
Yeah.
goes on, your money is going to be worth more.
Definitely.
I mean, not necessarily, but it's going to change, right? So it's either going to get cheaper, or it's going to get more expensive. So I
Yeah.
think that point is completely like, it's a really bad point. Like you can't
Yeah.
blame that.
Makes
And
sense.
personally, with Prestige, I think Prestige is a good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it depends how much you play, right? If you're not going to play a lot, you don't buy it. But someone who plays it, say like a lot, I can buy a pass for 1,650. I can get a bunch of free chromas. I can get a bunch of free emotes, and I can get a prestige skin, all for the same price as, what is it? An emote is say 350. The skin itself is 1,350. So,
Mhm.
and you can get to 2,000 prestige icons. I think it's by winning 4 or 5 games, like 4 games a day.
Yep.
Let's just say 4 games a day. But if you say you spend the whole day playing, you can make a lot more than 2,000 tokens.
Doable. Yeah. Yeah. Good
So
point.
it just depends on like your audience, right? So
Yeah.
certain people aren't going to play that much, and then they're going to be like, Prestige is bad. No one's forcing you to buy Prestige. It's literally
It's true.
saying if you want the stuff, you have to put hours in.
Yeah.
The problem I do have though is when they introduce things like Eternal. Eternal itself is a bad idea. Like that's the part I agree with. Like you shouldn't charge people for having things like a mastery, right? Because
Right.
people earn the mastery. Like
Yeah.
even if you want to make it like 200k blue essence, then even that is more acceptable
Sure.
than say RP, because people aren't gonna want to buy it if it's worth RP. Like there's
Definitely.
a very like low amount of things, but I think
Yeah.
I think he could have like been more specific when he made the thing.
Yeah,
But
I
didn't even
think you're
understand
right.
the part about TFT.
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
even
no.
understand the thing about TFT.
It's
Like,
a Reddit special.
you-
Yeah, it's a Reddit
What
special.
they do is they find like one thing that everyone's upset over, so everyone's upset over Eternals, and then they use it to like snowball into
yeah.
a whole bunch of different problems that they have
For
with
sure.
the game that other people might have at the game. And since
Yep.
people see the title and they say Eternals, they upvote it, and then all of a sudden this garbage gets on the front page.
Gets on the
So
front
the
page.
Eternals point he has is I agree with that. I don't like Eternals. I don't like this system. But there's so much in that post that is either equivocally false, like Style said. Like,
Yeah.
the reason that these currencies are going up is it's like if you complained about the price of gas going up because dollars went down. It's just how money works.
Just how it works. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
one
But,
other thing was the Odyssey thing. Like, is he saying Odyssey is bad? Is he saying it's good? Because I liked
No,
Odyssey.
he's saying
I thought it was
he's saying
good.
the last good event was 11 months ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Honestly.
I think that's one thing where I did badly, right? They started making things like all these other game modes, and then they just didn't focus on Odyssey. Because I had so much fun playing Odyssey. It's
Sure.
like a way to get out of like the what is it, like traditional League of Legends, and I guess TFT does that, but TFT is like, I think rotating game modes kept like changing, and that's what made the game so interesting for like people who only want to play League. And one of the reasons I think skins should become more expensive is over time, like skins have just gotten way better. Like if you look at Mafia Jinx, and then you look at say Mafia Brom or something like that, Mafia Brom looks so much better than Mafia Jinx. The only thing Mafia Jinx can do is dance and recall.
Go look at a legendary skin from like 2012.
Oh yeah,
like
it's definitely a big
Nocturne, and then look at a legendary skin from now.
Yeah, have you seen the Lux skin?
Oh
the
yeah,
Lux skin looks. It's like 10 skins in one, basically. 5 skins.
Yeah,
5 skins
sure.
in one. I mean,
definitely.
It's 10.
Yeah.
And then you look at like the only thing close to that is Swearguard Udyr or Pulsefire Ezreal. Pulsefire Ezreal. Okay, this is like a real sidetrack, but Pulsefire Ezreal should not even after it was redone, it does not deserve to be a 3-250 skin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, good points for sure. So, Juana, did you want to add anything before we move on to this topic? I know you've been sitting there kind of getting your thoughts ready. Did you have anything, or do you think they nailed it?
I think they nailed most things. I'm just going to preface this by saying I hate Reddit. I am a I am a Reddit user.
Good to know.
I will read posts. I read like at least a dozen posts on Reddit each day.
Yeah.
But I am fully aware they nitpick. But the problem is Riot have been focusing on certain things way too much, and they've been tunneling their focus. And what I feel like they've done over the last year is they have been alienating the player.
Yeah.
This change to Eternals is alienating the player. And when I read this post, I kind of understand the frustrations. It's like, the example was made of if gas prices go up, right? Then that's just how money works.
Sure.
But that's not going to stop people being frustrated that gas is suddenly more expensive. So
That's true.
It's not Riot's fault that happened, but it still causes frustration. And then when Riot go from what their system was before, which was perfectly acceptable. They used to make so much money from sponsorships from Coca-Cola for their LCS and their world events and whatnot. Their revenue's been declining, and I feel like they are starting to become a cash grab. Because I'm completely fine with microtransactions, but I think it is dangerous that they are going in this direction. Because I think prestige points upset quite a few people. I think it's fine if somebody has 10 hours to play a day and they want to get those skins. Great on them if they want to spend money for that. But when you start doing things like this is when you're going into the territory of I'm now going to upset players and only make a couple happy just for a bit of money. The only reason why this exists is because of TFT kind of brought a revival to League. TFT really increased the amount of players that came back and whatnot. This is just a way for them to kind of get a quick amount of money. Because we've been wanting announcer packs for years. I would buy every single announcer pack or different special effects for characters and whatnot, champions, heroes, whatever you want to call them. Like I feel as a player that what we've been asking for, right? It says that our voice is always listened to, and yet the voices that have been the loudest, which have been asking for announcer packs for ages, they've just sell the Gangplank announcer pack. Everybody will buy that.
So there's got to be some reason why Riot doesn't want to do like certain things. Why they don't want to do reskins for money, why they don't want to do announcer packs. There has to be some sort of reason that they have that's good because they want to make money. But why haven't they given it to us? Like,
at least tell us.
The reason? So
at least
that
tell us.
Tells me that the reason is something that's embarrassing. And by embarrassing, I mean like something that they don't want to just outright say to the public. So it's either like the framework couldn't handle it, like something on the client couldn't handle that for some reason, or B, it's just like maybe they just have the figures that maybe it just wouldn't be worth that much money to them. Which I don't know if that's true. Those are totally speculation, but.
And I think you're right. Like, at least for me, when they did kind of the transparency on how they balance and how they do patches and stuff like that, at least it gave us somewhat of a room. It might not be the most perfect thing, but at least we see how things are selected for balancing and that sort of thing. So I think that's a great point that you made, is maybe they just need to be a little more transparent. Even if the reasons are dumb, maybe that's why they're afraid, because, Reddit will go up in flames if they found out it was just a really dumb reason, like the client just sucks or something like that. But I think it's all a good point. I do think, Riot has definitely shown that they've been cutting back. We know that the, Worlds last year, the teams didn't actually go there, right? So, they scaled back on that. So for whatever reason, and they're trying to develop new games, right? They're developing TFT now. They're also developing a fighting game, right? So it does seem like they're trying to expand. Meanwhile, all updating and maintaining their cash cow, which is League of Legends. So it's a lot on their plate, and it's expected. I think the frustration lies in them not putting out what we want to pay money for, and them not being transparent enough as to the reasonings why. So I think there's a lot of good discussion points there. I just wanted to touch on that because I do think it's an interesting topic. But if you guys want to chime in on that, you can email us at the allinpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at the allinpodcast. We'd love to know your thoughts. But now let's move on to the patch. 9.16 is out. Pantheon is out. I'll start there because that's probably the most notable change, is that Pantheon got reworked. Have any of you guys played Pantheon yet? Just by
I played him a
curiosity.
little bit on PBE before he came out. It's hard to get a new champion day one of the patch on live.
Right. Yeah.
I've had
Just because
so
it's
many.
like it's either permanently banned or permanently picked. So
I played like 4 games today, and it was open in every single one.
So
really, is he bad?
Style has been saying that Pantheon has been bad.
Yeah.
That's what he's been. Go ahead, speak on it, Style, because you've had the experience.
Yeah, I've played I played 4 ranked games today, right? And in every single one, Pantheon lost, whether it was on my team or the enemy team. Like, not a single game Pantheon won. Okay, so one of the games, like, Pantheon didn't factor in because our bot lane was inting so hard. But apart from that, I don't think like he had that much thing. Again, it depends where you play him as well. I think he's very good in jungle now as compared to top lane.
Right.
And I think overall, it might just be that people don't know how to use him yet. But
yeah, I'm wondering if that. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's it. Yeah, and also where best to play him, like you said. I mean, we just played a game with the Jungle Pantheon on the other team, and he destroyed us pretty much. So, I mean, again, it's totally new mechanics. People have to learn it unless they've been playing him on PBE. I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and just Google search that. We won't go over it here because it's basically a full champion spotlight there. But he's
patch notes.
Yeah, patch notes, and you could see all of the changes there. Just wanted to put out there that it is live. Go ahead and play him. Definitely new mechanics, so he's not the same. The skills will be reminiscent of what you know about Pantheon, but there's definitely new things about him that have changed. So definitely check him out. Do you guys got anything that you want to point out before we just go down the line here, as far as that stuck out to you in the patch notes? Or are you guys pretty good about it?
I didn't know that AP Ezreal was like.
I like this whole patch. Literally, all the champs I hate got gutted. All the champs they were either not touched or buffed. But Yuumi got nerfed. Ezreal got nerfed. So I'm a happy boy.
Okay, so Style likes
really
it.
No, it's not just the AP that got hit. It was the cooldown on.
I know
on E. Yeah,
but I mean, their reasoning for the nerf is to say AP Ezreal's burst made him a bit of a terror, so we're taking some of the power out of the build and hitting his early.
The thing is, you can build him AD, but you still do tons of damage with your. You build like what is it? You build your tier, you build your Iceborne, and then you go Luden's Rabadons most times.
Yeah.
So even if you go ADC, you build AP.
Right.
So do you think this sort of takes him back towards just pure AD build, like a blue build maybe?
I think you still build Ludens. I think you don't build Deathcap anymore. I think you can go into something like a Blade of the Ruin King instead. But I'm just happy that the E got nerfed.
Yeah, the cooldown is much longer now. So it used to start at 19, scaling down to 13. Now it starts at 25, scaling down to 13. And then the Q Mystic Shot, the AP got gutted in half. So AP ability power was 0.3, now it's 0.15. So definitely cutting that in half as far as the AP goes. But yeah, definitely a nerf on Ezreal. I've played against a couple. He still seems fine to me. He's probably...
You also have to remember your E cooldown gets decreased every time you hit a Q by 1 second.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
1.25 seconds actually.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe.
So don't get hit by Qs.
Yeah.
Don't get hit by Qs.
No, the thing is, it can hit minions as well, and it gets decreased.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, Ezreal's such.
I think the E nerf is good early at least because you can abuse.
I think Ezreal needs some sort of like weird rework. Another one. Because Ezreal just breaks the game constantly.
He does.
He broke.
Yeah.
He broke Kleptomancy. He broke every single on-hit item.
Yeah.
From season 2
jungle items as well.
Yeah, he's breaking jungle items.
Runeglaive mid Ezreal. I remember that.
I don't know if you remember
the Elder Lizard.
I don't remember Elder Lizard. I didn't play back then, but I remember Runeglaive and how every LCS player was doing it.
He even broke Red Smite last season.
Yeah, he broke. There was this lethality jungle Ezreal build where like people were doing like level 2 invades, building like
I remember that
and stuff.
I remember
everything. He's broke.
He's literally a menace all over the rift. So
I don't think he's that bad now. Like I think you can abuse him in lane. Like he's very.
No, but there's going to be something that happens in the future that he breaks again, and then.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But I'm saying the state he's in right now, he can be abused.
I think Riot needs to learn that a on hit effect on a 9 or a 1100 range skill shot is just not gonna work out.
With like a 3-second cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like a 3-second cooldown.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's
Okay.
less at final level. It's like
Well, yeah, let's go ahead and go down the line, and we'll just go through these changes. Don't need to spend a lot of time if they're not significant, but let's go ahead and start with Azir. Q cooldown increased late, so it was at 15 scaling down to 5. Now it's 15 scaling down to 7. We've seen Azir a lot in pro play. I mean, it's the Azir Corki meta. Seems like I haven't seen a lot of Azir in solo queue. I know Azir is one of those champions notoriously known for being good in pro, not so good in solo queue, kind of like
gold,
Rise.
like high gold, you see like quite a bit.
Pretty good. So do you guys think this has a big impact on the late game conquering sands? I don't have a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I guess
so every time you use your Q, you need your Q to do your like
Right.
Shurima shuffle, right?
Yeah.
So soon as you see your Azir using Q, if you're an assassin, you go in, basically.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
if you increase the cooldown, it's just like one of those like Ezreal type nerfs, right? If you increase their escape ability, they have to be more wary of how often they use it and when to use it. So you need to know you need to keep track of a lot of information like where's the jungler, where's the bot lane, things like that. So I don't think it's a huge nerf. Like it won't affect him that much, but who knows?
It's good to
Like,
play around. It's
I
good
think-
to know because you can play around it more, I think. So. Good. Okay. Let's go to Corki, the other meta champ right now in pro. So base attack damage and attack damage growth is decreased. So the attack damage, the base stats, got nerfed from 60 to 55. 5 damage. Attack damage growth is gone from 3 to 2.5. Those numbers seem small. Am I missing anything here?
It's important to note that this also affects Sheen, which is a very strong item on him.
There it is.
Sheen
Yeah.
does 200% base attack damage. So when you're nerfing it by 5 at base and then another 18 times 0.5, so another whatever that is, 10 or 15.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
That takes 30 to 40 damage off Sheen procs too.
And you have to remember that it's on every auto, right? When you reduce someone's base attack damage, it's 5 on each auto. It's not just like one spell where if you hit one extra spell and it increases by 5 or decreases by 5, it's like every auto attack.
Every auto, yeah, for sure. So DPS wise, you'll be doing less DPS overall. Good point. Okay. Anything to add, Sejuna? You good? You good with Corki? Hopefully we'll see.
I've not really got anything to add, really.
Okay. Cool. All right, Dr. Mundo, W tenacity flattened, E cooldown now scale. So their thought here is with 4 patches worth of smaller changes already under his belt, the mad lad's been asking for something more substantial. So W burning agony, the tenacity was 10, scaling up to 30%. Now it's 30% at all ranks. E masochism, the cooldown was 6 seconds. Now it starts at 6 and scales down to 4. So this looks like a buff.
I think this is quite a big buff actually for top.
Yeah,
this is really funny because through Mercurial Treads, Legend Tenacity, and Mundo W, it's not additive, so it's not like as crazy as it sounds. But I think Mundo gets something like 75% tenacity.
I think it's close to
with
60% or 65.
What if you bring on
65?
flinch?
Yeah, I don't exactly know how the numbers add up, but it's a large amount of tenacity, which is pretty funny.
With unflinching as well, that's gonna be insane.
Oh yeah, and flinching too.
I think you probably can't get more than 70% tenacity in total, but no, I think this change is good because even if you're against somebody with CC, it still opens you up to going tabbies. So I think that's quite good because you don't really max your W. You're maxing your W, you're doing it so you can push the lane, which you don't need to do anyway. And then the cooldown scaling buff on his E is also really nice. 3 seconds on that empowered auto attack is quite a big, because that does a chunk of damage. That's where his damage really comes from.
Oh yeah, it does a lot.
Especially with a grass
proc.
That's good.
It's also important to know that this is a huge buff to Jungle Mundo, which sounds like a meme, but Jungle Mundo is not terrible, and with 4 batches in a row, giving tiny buffs.
No, not Jungle.
Oh no!
I don't know, man. He can.
I thought you liked this patch, man.
No, I'm saying Jungle Mundo is good. I just don't want to play against it.
Yeah, I got you.
He literally just runs into you.
Cinderhog meta is coming back.
Oh boy. Personally, Mundo's very annoying.
I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal when it comes to like top lane. But with jungle, with top lane, you literally just pick like, what is it? Health what is it? Tank destroyers, right? You can play Vayne top, you can play Darius, and it's just
Yeah.
like Mundo's still useless, right? That doesn't fix any of Mundo's
You play
problems in
Jax.
top lane. You play,
Yeah.
yeah, you
This
just
is
like.
this is a scary change because I think it's exactly right. I think that Mundo is still going to be bad, or at least still going to be mediocre. But in the very, very niche match, like if he's against another tank or if he's against a team without a lot of CC or kiting, he's going to be so ridiculously strong that it will be really hard to deal with him.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of a problem with these champions that don't have gap closers. They don't have like any real way to do anything. They have to be so incredibly powerful at a base level that if you don't have the ability to kite him or keep him off of your squishies, he can just melt people, which is always spooky.
Basically what
It's
he
sort of
does.
like Darius.
Yeah. Oh
If
gosh.
you can kite Darius, he's completely worthless. But try putting a melee character into Darius, and you're just having a bad time every single time.
Unless
It's
you're
very hard to
Renekton.
beat Darius. Unless you're
Exactly.
Renekton.
For sure. Okay. Well,
There is
so
one thing I just wanted to. Oh, sorry. No, go on.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I really like this change, not because of Mundo specifically, but because I personally think it was patch 9.14 with all the added like counterpick mechanics, like say Kled getting his healing reduction and whatnot. I like this change because it puts. It goes into a direction of where Riot is solidifying champions as a counterpick to certain champs, but not all. Mundo is already a notoriously good champion against burst mages, right? Because they can't kill him, and then he's just going to have enough tenacity, and he gets magic resistance as well.
Yeah,
this
he
is
also
a good
gets a large
change.
amount of magic resist from his
Yeah.
E.
So this makes him stronger against those types of classes with mages and whatnot, without making him just he's not gonna steamroll assassins and ADCs and all of that, but he's got an identity, and I think that's really, really good.
You have inspired my Mundo mid.
Oh gosh, please don't. Oh gosh, yeah. All right, so that's Mundo for you. It's pretty decent buff there, so feel free to try him out. And then so let's go to Echo. Echo, they buffed him, so his E bonus damage is increased.
They didn't buff
and his
the
R
one in your
cooldown
game.
decreased. Not the one in our game, that's for sure. But the game before that, would you believe it or not, the Echo on the other team seemed to do really well. So E phase dive, the bonus damage has gone from 40 to 140. Now it's 50 to 150, and our Chrono Break cooldown starts at 110, scaling down to 70. Now it's 110, scaling down to 50. I think this is, man, I feel like this is going to be even more. Yeah, I think this is going to be more annoying to play against.
Echo's already so hard to kill late game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So today I played a league game and I had an Echo on the other team, and he had like 2.3 million points.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought he was trolling, right? Because he built things like Triforce and Spirit Visage. But now that if you really look at these changes, you're like, maybe Tank Echo isn't that bad with the changes, right? Because if you build like, Iceborne Gauntlet, and it procs on your E, and they reduce the cooldown of the E, that's actually like big busted. And this guy might just be ahead of his time.
Yeah, you get like Grasp of the Undying, Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yeah, he had a Grasp, and then he had Triforce. He had Triforce and Spirit Visage.
Wow.
I think if that does become meta again, I think Riot will shut it down very quickly.
Yeah,
right. Fizz top and Echo top as bruiser off tanks, they were just unhealthy for the game. I think Riot would immediately catch on to that and just shut it down. They wouldn't want to repeat of that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Unless they buff Poppy. They buff Poppy for Echo.
Poppy a lot. So this is really funny because Kevin, another guest we had on the podcast a while ago, he's on the TFT podcast as well. He always says that Echo is fine, and if not a little bit strong. And this is probably like the third or fourth patch we've seen over the past few months that has buffed Echo directly. Small amounts, but every time you buff a champion a small amount, it gives them a little bit of extra ability. So 3 to 4 patches in a row, just giving them buffs.
They want him to be in pro again, man.
They want him to
give Jensen a chance at redemption.
Look at the note they put. Echo has room for more power in all areas of play. That means top
lane. I think they should give his W more power. His W feels really hard to use effectively.
Yeah. That's definitely.
But if you land your W on people, then that's actually busted.
They could
is good.
probably reduce.
How do you add power to something like that? The only problem it has is that you land on no one.
No, I think what you need to do is you need to reduce the amount of time it takes to land, and then reduce the power of it, and
Yeah.
that'll make it a lot easier to use.
Nice.
Because
Or
it shouldn't
make
take
it
as long
even
as a
stronger
Pantheon ult to
and make it
land.
even slower.
Good gosh.
If you get caught by this, the game just ends.
And
It's like
yeah,
getting
it's
hit
just
by a Janet
done. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, you should be able to dodge it. All right, let's move on to Fiora. E cooldown decreased early. Bonus attack speed now scales. So E blade work cooldown has gone from 13 scaling down to 5. Now it's 11 scaling down to 5. Bonus attack speed was 50% in all ranks. Now it starts at 50 and goes up to 90%. Holy moly!
She will take towers so quickly late game. With
This is bad.
Split pushing
Fiora was
Fiora.
already like a pretty good split pusher. The only thing Fiora actually lacks in split pushing is she can't deal with ranged people just clearing her waves.
Yeah.
So the only thing is this doesn't help with that. So I don't think she'll be insane. But if you're not dealing with a Fiora split pushing, she's gonna take your towers so quickly. It's gonna be going so fast.
I think Poppy was buffed just to deal with all of this. I'm telling you, Fiora, Echo, Jack's cooldown on his Q.
Yep.
I'm telling you, they were just designed. Poppy was just designed for this.
So maybe we just start playing Poppy. If you're a top laner, just play Poppy. You'll counter about 50% of the buffs.
I played Poppy in ranked, and I've won like 7 games and lost none. And then I played Poppy ADC, and I've won 4 games and lost none.
Wow. Okay, so Poppy it is then. Poppy, the new champion. Speaking of Jax, though, you're right. His cooldown got decreased. How you feeling about that, Nighthawk? I know you like Jax a lot. Have you played him recently? Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, I play a lot of Jax in the jungle, not quite so much in the top lane.
Yeah.
A lot of the reasons why you do max Q second, or at least you did, was because getting a follow-up Q onto somebody who flashes or uses a gap closer to dodge you can really help. Taking 2 seconds off it isn't like, it's not going to immediately break him, but it means that you have the opportunity to not max Q second, which a lot of people have been talking about. A lot of people are talking about maxing E second, and E is sort of Jax's like broken ability in terms of both being in the jungle and being in lane.
Yeah,
it allows you to dodge all auto attacks for 2.5 seconds. So having that up more often and doing more damage is going to be really strong.
I mean, at level 2, it's already down to 7.5 seconds when it was 9. That's a pretty big buff at level 2.
The big power in this buff is not just that it makes the Q up faster, it's that it frees you up to max E second.
Right.
So what do you max first?
The Q directly isn't getting so much stronger. It's just the fact that E maxing second now is going to be really strong.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you always max W second? Is there like any point that you would not max
you go W's?
You always max W first. Is there like any situation where you wouldn't max W first?
I mean, the W is on like a 2-second cooldown at rank 5, and it does 180 extra damage, and it's an auto attack reset.
So get your stacks faster.
As well, right? It has a passive. Is it the W that has a passive?
That's the ultimate. The ultimate has a passive.
The W
so combined with the W, it's separate damage instance. So
yeah.
It
just helps you get your stacks.
Like 6 autos on towers. Is it towers where you get more attack speed?
That's his passive.
That's his passive. No, that's his passive.
Is every auto attack grants him a certain amount of attack speed, stacking up to 8 times.
Does that apply on your W?
Yeah, so your W is an auto attack reset. So
it's just
you literally get 2 or 3 autos right instantly, basically. So I mean, that's good though. This is
actually interesting because Halo Blades doesn't get consumed through auto attack resets. So you can auto attack W, auto attacks for 4 Halo Blades attacks.
But then you're taking Halo Blades on Jax.
Yeah, but then you're taking Halo Blades. Halo Blades is only useful as sort of like a cheese meme in the top lane or some sort of like really aggressive jungle invade.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Kassadin. W basic attack damage modifier increase. So W Netherblade, the empowered basic attack damage was 40 scaling to 140 with a 0.8 ability power. Now it's 70 scaling to 170 with still plus 0.8 ability power. So it's just basically the base attack damage modifier. What are your thoughts on this, Kassadin's W? I mean,
Why do we need
It's
Cassidy?
trading
People have been
patterns.
saying-
Scary.
People are saying Cassidy's already like pretty good, so buffing him out of nowhere seems like a weird
Yeah, I
idea.
don't
But
really
I don't know. I don't see a ton of Cassidy anymore.
me
I
neither.
think that if Kassadin does come back, this buff is going to be really scary because he already has some really good matchups where he can get really good trades. 30 damage on an ability he's wanting to use on champions anyway, because he gets more mana back
My
compared to
mana.
minions.
Yep.
It's just encouraging him to fight more early when he can get away with it. And, you know, if a Kassadin can get away with winning early, there's no stopping him later on in the game.
I mean, that's 30
So,
damage
I think
every
it's-
level. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
quite big.
Yeah, it's pretty good. W's
Yeah.
not even. I think you max W last though, which is
Yeah,
okay.
you can max it second in very weird cases, but yes, Q then E.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I have to
Carson
whip out
is
Lucian
weird.
mid.
He's another one of those
Lucian mid.
champions that is hard to balance because mobility is crazy and burst is crazy.
I mean-
So when you have a
Mhm.
bursty mobility champion, it's really hard to keep them.
I mean, if you
As
can't
is
balance
every
him,
champion in league.
Yeah,
Yeah, every new champion.
yeah.
I'm okay
it's
with putting
true.
Kassadin in the bin.
I'm okay with that
I
too.
mean,
I'm the,
He's been pretty niche for the past couple.
Put him in the
at
bin,
least couple
honestly.
months.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not as bad as Counter, but still.
let's do what style. You hear that, Riot style? Says throw him
Put him in the
away.
bin.
Put him in the bin. All
They
right, let's
should
go.
just- they
To be
should
fair,
put him
to
in
be
the
fair,
bin.
he has really hard matchups against ADs. So
They should
There
do
you
what
go.
Fortnite does and just vault certain champions.
yeah.
Okay.
Get rid of them for a certain
Yeah,
amount of
just-
I
time.
mean,
Yeah,
at least
exactly.
he doesn't have a silenced anymore.
They should vault the
Technically, he
champions.
does. Technically,
What?
he does have a silence.
That's not a
but it's
silence.
Yeah.
point-
It's a point
It
two.
is.
It's a 0.25 second silence.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's very.
Isn't it? No, it only stops channels, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Nope,
but
it's an
that's
actual
a silence.
silence.
Yeah.
You're
something-
you're
It's
not
not a
able
proper
to
silence.
cast an ability during that 0.25 seconds.
Point
It's
two
the
five.
mini
It's
mini
quick.
silence. It's
Yeah.
so short that
Okay,
it doesn't
yeah.
actually stop you from casting abilities. It just interrupts. But it is technically.
Okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
it used to be way worse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
it
like
used
a
to be
free
really
skill.
bad. It used to
Well,
be like the most.
See, here's what I propose that we do. Right, toss all these these champions in a vault.
In
Even
the bin.
even pre-rework champions, right? Like Old Akali, who I miss, and then just release like how they have WoW Classic, League Classic, right? And just throw it all in there and
That'd
have
be fun.
have fun. Hey, League, right? You want to make money? This is how you make money. All right, I'm telling
Can
you,
imagine
I would.
rolling
Old
old
Graves.
AP Master Yi. Old
No,
Graves.
what they do is they just
Oh,
open up everything that has been like gutted, thrown away, like whatever. We
you
just
could have
throw it in there.
multiple iterations of champions
Oh.
on like this. So you could be
Oh,
playing
that'd
like
be so good.
Riven Classic. and
Yes.
Riven 2015.
You
Just
could
make
pick.
people play RP to
Classic.
play it.
Feral Flare.
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
did.
saying, man. All right, Riot. Okay, you got to take notes from the All In podcast here. We're gonna
I
help
think
you
she's
guys
already gone through
rebound.
this.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, I still think it should be done. So, anyways,
And
somebody.
you should have to play on the crappy map too.
Yeah, that's right.
Fucking-
The option to play on old school crap map. Okay. Somebody tag them when I post this on Twitter, and hopefully they'll get it done. All right. So let's go to LeBlanc. So QAP ratio increase. So a buff. Oh no, actually, I'm sorry. It's reverting a nerf they had that LeBlanc received earlier, since she can use more power in a way that average players can utilize. Q Sigil of Malice 0.3 ability power. Now it's 0.4. Small revert, I guess. I mean, does that really? It's 0.1
I don't
ability
think
power.
it changes much.
She already overkills her targets anyway. So,
Yeah. So
but I mean, giving
Negligible.
more damage to an assassin is still scary. So
I'm surprised that the Q is so low. Is that 0.1 on both procs?
I don't.
If
do you
it's
know what?
one
I'm
of
actually
them.
not sure.
It
I
doesn't
think
It
it's
say.
point
might be
on
on
both
both.
procs.
It might be
It's
on
gotta
both.
be.
I do. I feel like the second
Because
proc
there's
has
no
bit
way it's
more
just a
damage.
0.3 ability power.
Let me
it's on
Google
both
it. Let me
procs.
Okay.
So that
So-
means it's actually a 0.2 ability power increase,
Right.
which is pretty significant.
If you proc both of them.
Yeah, if you proc
If
both.
you proc both. Which when are you not procking both Qs?
Yeah. Okay.
Something.
While you're looking that up, let's go on to Lux. So we were just talking about. I've seen 2 Lux supports in my games for some reason, and I don't know why. So she got nerfed right in 9.14, but now they're increasing her shield late game. So prismatic barrier, her shield was 50 going to 110. Now it's 50 going to 150. Max shield is now 100 or was 100 going to 220. Now it's 100 going to 300. So late game, that shield is there. So early game still, not bad.
They couldn't let Lux support just
let it die.
Yeah.
I don't
They
know,
couldn't let it be
man.
back for one patch. They're like, oh, okay.
I
saw somebody.
Lux. Lux is like the greatest champion, but like,
Lux.
why do you have to buff?
Ego.
No. I play Lux in mid. I don't play her in support. She's actually absolutely terrible support. She should be trashed in support. Just take out her shield. Just take out her shield completely, and I would be okay with this. Like, just give her 3 abilities. I don't care. Just make sure.
Give her like an Ezreal.
As long as you just like give me back my R reset, where I get 50% if I kill someone.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be happy.
We
but
want
now,
that.
all I have to deal with is Lux supports in my game every game. So what I have to do is, if I get a higher pick, I pick Lux ADC.
Yeah. So
You're a terrible person.
Yeah, he is. But the thing
Every
is,
time I get Lux support, I dodge. Like, I'm not even joking. I just insta dodge if I get Lux support.
I hate playing against Lux more than I hate
me
playing
too.
with
I
Lux.
playing against Lux. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, but I've
just
seen
like-
somebody. I don't know if this works, but a Lux support that I played against was running Guardian. I don't know if that's actually a thing.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, it
okay.
works. It works.
I mean, it
mean,
gives
That
them a
sounds
shield and haste.
terrible.
No.
That sounds
The shield
terrible.
applies
No,
Guardian.
it is.
Shield.
Yeah, and LCS players did this. Like,
And
when
it has
if you
haste.
watched Smoothie play Lux, he ran heal and he broke Guardian instead of Aftershock in one of the games at least. I know a lot of pro players did it in EU as well. I know Mickey does it like nearly every game. He brings Guardian instead of Aftershock.
I
Alright.
think that is only viable against hook supports or people with a lot of burst. I think if you do that against
Like Pike.
something that's going to chip you down. Yeah, Pike, Fresh, Nautilus, and Blitzcrank are the only instances where I
Lux
can think that
demolishes
is
Pike, by
viable.
the way. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering why would you take Demolish? I mean, not
Ugh.
Demolish. Guardian.
Guardian. Yeah.
Different.
I'm wondering why you
I
take
said
Lux.
Demolish.
Yeah. I don't know why take Lux support in the first place. Please.
Go
Please
ahead,
don't do
put
it.
it in the bin.
Yeah.
Put it
Like a
in the
big
bin.
support.
Leave it in the bin.
Put it back in the bin. That'll be another champ to add a Lux support in the bin.
bin.
Okay. Let's move on to Nocturne. Base armor increase, W bonus attack speed increase. So base stats, they rounded out some stats. Armor went from 36 to 38. Health went from 582.8 to 585. Mana was 273.8 to 275 now. Mana regen was 6.756. Now it's 7. They just rounded some numbers up. And then Shroud of Darkness bonus attack speed was 20, scaling up to 40%. Now it's 30, scaling up to 50%. So some nice little buffs there, but
Yeah.
thoughts?
I think
The
the stat
level-
buffs are way more important than the W buff.
Okay.
I
Because I
think
feel
the
like
W
the
buff's
W-
alright.
Eh.
Because it's a
50%.
50% increase in effectiveness that you get at usually level 2. Because you don't really
True.
want to be fearing a large creep or a minion when you're
Mhm.
jungling. I think the 2 armor and
No, you
the
do-
10%
you do-
attack
no, you get
speed do
Q-
kind of help a lot.
You get QE on Nocturne. You don't get W.
You can go
so, yeah.
QW if you're going to be clearing until 6.
Well, the W doesn't do anything against creeps. You
Well,
only
it
get
gives
the
you
attack
more
speed when
attack
you
speed and
only when you block a spell.
oh, it's bonus.
Yeah,
Right.
bonus
Only when you
attack
block
speed.
the
Is it
spell.
not innate? I swear it's innate, isn't it?
No. You have to block a spell with the W to get the bonus attack speed.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I'm
Google.
almost positive.
Let's ask our
I
friend
don't know.
Google.
I
By the way, did you
swear
guys
it's
find
double.
out? Did you guys find out if the Q or the
Yes,
sigil
10% AP ratio on both. Yeah.
of both? Okay, cool. All right, y'all Google that one
Okay,
so that we
so
can find out.
You get bonus. You get attack speed passively, and then blocking an ability will double the bonus attack. Okay, I didn't realize.
That's what I
thought
thought,
you
yeah.
only
Bonus
got
attack
the
speed.
bonus attack speed
So it's
from.
10 to 20% increase.
Okay, yeah,
innately.
okay, yeah,
So
that's-
yeah,
that's a
I
pretty
think
big
it's a
giveaway.
decent clear speed. I was gonna say because I play Nocturne,
Yeah.
and if I got that wrong,
You would have won a
Well,
lot
I
more
never knew that It was
games.
just a passive bonus.
I'm
I
just
always thought
waiting
it
for
was
the
just a
knockout
bonus from blocking.
Well, with 140 some champs, it's hard to have everything right. That's why Google is our friend.
Yeah.
I used to
Settled that
study
debate
this.
right here. Yeah.
I used
Okay.
to study exactly what abilities did. I was gonna say
Yeah.
because I used to
Well,
coach
why
people
wouldn't
on
you?
little things
Why
like
would you want to
this.
fear a camp? Because fearing a
I
camp.
don't want
helps you
Nocturne
grow.
Turn
Well,
by-
it does, your you deal damage to that camp with the fear, and also it wouldn't attack you. So, but it's better to go W.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Interesting. I might have to try that. In ranked, first time. All right.
No,
Okay.
I don't want Nocturne buffs. I'm an ADC player.
Okay.
The,
Style
yeah,
doesn't
the
want.
reason
okay.
why I think it's good is also I think it helps with his Raptor clear because every auto attack he does decreases his passive
Yeah.
cooldown by 1 second, which is
There
the
you
It
go.
gets you
AoE
that
kills him.
AoE a little
So
quicker.
this is not just a buff to his W, it's a buff to his kit in general
That's
because
cool.
Yeah.
he is an auto attacker and everything.
That 2 extra armor helps a lot too, because Nocturne's
Yeah.
clear wasn't the healthiest.
Nah, yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. Sweet. All right, let's move on to Riven. So they the Q cooldown was flattened. So it's just 12 seconds now at all ranks.
We
Yeah.
talked about this so much.
I know. Now it's just
Remember
12 seconds
9.10
at all
patch?
ranks.
Why don't they
Yeah,
know
we
what
did.
to do with Riven?
I don't know.
So okay, I'm going to quote myself in 9.10 patch.
Okay.
They buffed nerfed her
Yeah.
because they I said that it was a nerf, but it was also a buff. And then I don't know if people agreed or not. I remember on Reddit they were saying like this isn't a buff at all. It's just helping even out the E nerf. The E nerf's huge, and I'm like, well, the Q buff's pretty big, but they're like,
Yeah,
no,
it was.
And
Yep.
now they're nerfing the Q back.
Yeah.
to what it was.
Yeah, so it's
Which
just
is like,
12 at all
why?
ranks. Yeah.
Thank God. I don't like Riven.
Yeah, Riven is
Yeah.
one of those
Riven
champs.
has a hard time. She's gonna.
But Poppy does well against Riven.
Again,
Sure does.
Poppy. Bring in the
I'm
Poppy.
telling you, see? It's all leading to Poppy. All the answer lies with Poppy.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Sejuani, a staple in pro play. Has been for a long time, recently back in again with all the buffs towards that direction. But Frost Armor, Base Armor, and Magic Resistance has been decreased, Ratio increase, and Q cooldown increase. So the passive, Fury of the North, Frost Armor, was 20 plus 0.25 bonus armor, and 20 plus 0.25 bonus magic resistance. Now it's 10. So they've lowered it, the flat 10 plus 0.35 bonus armor and 10 plus 0.35 bonus magic resist. And then Q Arctic Assault, which is the dash, right? I believe it was 17 scaling down 11 seconds. Now it's 20 scaling down to 12. So it won't be able to dash as much. I think, which also, that's part of our ganking as well early on. So got to make them count, I guess. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
With the passive, I think you have to break 100 bonus armor.
Yeah, it's 100 bonus armor to make it even.
Okay.
And I mean, like, Sejuani is kind of a ganking jungler. I mean, obviously, like, you can gank level 2. Sometimes it's best to farm up until 6, but she does like to have a bit of early pressure sometimes. This is just going to make her early clear just slightly a bit unhealthy.
Sejuani was also a champion that stacks health a lot more than just flat resistance.
Armor, yeah.
So it's going to be a little harder to get to that 100 armor and MR to break even.
It's a slight buff with her Aftershock, and that's it, I think.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but I don't think that this is going to help her much in the early levels, and I think that's where she kind of needs it. Because otherwise, I mean, she's picked in pro for her team fight mainly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she's also just a very consistent ganker.
They've hit her where that she's weakest, which is like just farming a jungle because she's got quite a slow clear compared to some of the other ganking junglers. I feel like her AoE is great, but a single target isn't that great. Her stacking of
her W is like the single most powerful AoE clear, and then the rest of her kit is just really bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So
well,
you're
we'll see if
telling
that
me
affects anything.
that I can't get autofilled and automatically win the game now.
With Sejuani, I know. Jeez.
not anymore.
You might actually.
Scion,
There you go.
or Scion jungle.
Scion jungle. Hey, you can play Mundo. Mundo jungle.
Ivern jungle.
Oh yeah, Mundo will be my new Sejuani.
There you go. There you go, man. All right. Let's go to Shen. Q empowered damage ratio increase. E base damage decrease. So Q Twilight Assault. The empowered champion damage ratio was 4 scaling to 6%. Now it's 5 scaling to 7%. And E Shadow Dash was the base physical damage was 50 scaling to 150. Now it's 60 scaling to 160. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I've played a couple of Shens in my past few ranked games, and it seemed pretty strong. I don't know why, unless Shen is
Didn't
just...
Shen come up your arm? Yeah.
All of Shen's power comes from his ability to be in a split lane and then be in a team fight almost instantly, while also preventing a squishy from dying.
Yeah.
So giving you the ability to do slightly more damage is nice, I guess. But it's like all of Shen's power comes from his ability to just get into a team fight instantly and also give a squishy a 900 health shield or whatever it is. So I don't know. Shen is very niche.
Maybe buffing Shen support? Say what?
That's what I think this is a
I can see
slight
that.
buff to Shen support more than anything.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Shen support is that popular because Galio outclassed him. Now that Galio's weak, I mean, he has been getting a couple more buffs recently, but I feel like Galio with the removal. Why is he grounded when his W is active? Like now you can just pick
So he
Shen
can't flash.
Yeah, but like Shen can still do it. The flash taunt.
Yeah, but the Galio thing is a huge AoE circle, whereas Shen's is like a
line.
one
An AoE line. An AoE line.
Yeah.
It does taunt multiple people.
True.
Yeah, but it's a lot harder to get 2 people with a Shen dash than it is.
Yeah, but you can't
More
dash.
impressive when you get 5 people though.
Yeah, but you can't dash if you have Poppy.
So, once again,
Poppy
more
is the
cases
counter to every
for the-
champion.
Yeah, just play.
I'm
You know
telling
what?
you,
Forget
Poppy
the
meta.
rest of the patch notes. We don't need to go over it. Just play Poppy. Okay, you'll be good. That's our
Exactly.
advice.
Poppy is
Just play
like
Poppy.
great into all these champs, honestly.
Yeah.
Poppy support like destroys Shen support.
I'm gonna play
Okay.
Poppy now.
I might have to
convinced.
play Poppy. You've been very adamant about this, and I'm okay with that. Might have to try it out. All right, let's go to Singe because there's still a few more champions. Base mana increase. Our bonus stats increased late. So base stats. Mana was starting at 290.6. Now it's 330. It's pretty good. Tag damage was 62.32. Now it's 63. Mana regen was 7.524. It's just down to 7.5. So slight reduction there. Attack speed growth was 1.81%, now it's 1.9. And then the ultimate insanity potion bonus stats was 30 scaling to 80, now it's 30 scaling to 90. So a little off late game, but early game seems like pretty nice. Get some early mana. They did nerf just very slightly the mana regen, but
that's not gonna.
That's negligible. Yeah. So
It's cool to note that this is 10 more ability power, armor, magic resist, move speed, health regen, and mana regen.
You forgot 0.68 AD.
Well, no, I'm talking about on the alt.
yeah.
The
I
alt
didn't know about
gives
base stats.
AP, armor, MR, movement speed, health regen, and mana regen. So 10 more doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're 10 mooring 5 things or 6 things, that's pretty cool. I don't think Shen is just like the definition of a meme champion, where he's only in the game to make the enemy top laner's life hell, kind of like Teemo.
That's why I like playing Singe. He's
All
awesome.
good things come to an end. This is Poppy counter.
Is this Poppy counter? All right.
Yeah,
That's
he
what
has
I'm
the
talking about.
dashes. Poppy can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
boy.
and then you just run around Poppy. You build Liandry. the only hope Poppy has is building what's it called? What's that? Mass? No, not mass.
Adaptive helm.
Adaptive helm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Singe is like one of the very few champions in League of Legends that I've never been able to play, just because his
It's such a
hit is
weird
just so-
play
It's-
style.
yeah.
It's so
Nothing makes
counteracting to
sense.
what every
It
other
is.
champion
The
does.
better
It
you are at
just-
inting, the better you are at Sing.
Yeah. It's true. All right. Speaking of inting, Scion, the inting Scion. It's not Scion, the basement. Yeah, well, I won't go into it, but it was a thing. I don't even know if people still do it. But Scion, base mana increase, Q base minimum and maximum damage increase, remove damage reduction on monsters. So they want to round out some of his base stats. So mana was 325.6, now it's 330. Health was 542.64, now it's 545. Mana regen is basically the same. It's at 8. I won't even read out what it was because it's so small. The Q decimating smash. The base minimum damage was 20 scaling to 100, now it's 30 scaling to 110. Base maximum damage was 60 scaling to 300, now it's 70 scaling to 330. And they removed the reduced damage on monsters. So decimating smash no longer deals 80% damage against monsters.
Jungle Scion is really fun because you get 5 HP per, or like, I don't know, I think it's like 1 HP. It's something. You get 1 HP per minion kill.
Yeah.
So you just stay in the jungle all day long farming minions, and you come out of the jungle with 7,000 HP because you have overgrowth.
Yeah, but by then your mid
Cyan
laners
W,
probably died like
and then
8
Cinder
times.
Folk. Oh yeah, no, it's awful, but it's really fun.
your
Yeah.
your mid laners probably died like 8 times. Your bot lanes died like another 5 times.
Oh,
Your top
gosh.
laner's probably still pinging about why you're taking
Yeah.
what is it, chickens?
You come out of the jungle with 8,000 HP, and then you fight Vayne, who just shreds for you anyway because she
Yeah,
has
it's so
rage
dumb.
blade and does half your health in 3 autos.
Even
And
if
just
she
ease you
doesn't,
away.
even if there's no one killing you, you forget you have 8,000 HP, but your whole team is still dead.
Yeah. So you
You're also a
become
Scion, so you can't do anything.
exactly. Okay.
I do think if we see meta shift towards tank items being cheaper,
Actually,
definitely we'll see him as a jungler. I do think we'll see
Yeah.
him back as a jungler, like Dr. Mundo going into jungle.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
what's it called? If you bring Demolish and then you play Inting Scion with your 8,000 HP, you might be onto something.
You'll one-shot towers.
Because
Yep. There you go.
doesn't the Demolish stack with health?
Yeah, it's
Oh
Yeah,
my
pretty
gosh.
You're on to
Oh
something,
my
style.
gosh, you're on to something. Does Poppy counter Scion?
Nope.
I mean, I think Poppy and Scion would just be Scion pressing W and then Poppy running after her shield.
Yeah, it's a pretty boring matchup.
Okay. Let's go to Sivir. So she's been nerfed, but she's getting her W80 ratio decreased early. So the ricochet, the ratio was 50 scaling to 70% attack damage. Now it's 30 scaling to 70% attack damage. Does this mean wave clear early? It won't be as strong?
I think it's
wave
just got-
clear with rank 1 is abysmal. Which
Yeah.
she's
Yeah,
just
it was
using
already
W.
pretty
She
bad.
has Q. Yeah,
Okay.
she has to use Q.
All right.
I think that this is nice because it means that it's very hard to dodge Sivir W just because it
Yeah.
bounces to
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So taking slightly less damage from
Sure.
Sivir W, especially when
Is it
like
even
the
possible
example
to
they
dodge
gave.
it?
Yeah, if
What's
you
that?
stand far enough.
Is it even possible? Oh yeah, but you
Yeah,
gotta.
I mean, you don't if you're not in the wave,
dodge it,
it
yeah.
doesn't hit you. But
Yeah.
if you're in the wave, you can't dodge it. So it like they said, it scales very well with Yuumi because when you're not in the wave, then Yuumi gets free poke on you,
Yeah.
and when you're in the wave, then Sivir gets free poke on you. So
I hate
this
Yuumi.
is why
Which
they're
is
Right.
why
nerfing it.
Yuumi and Sivir was my favorite pairing.
Oh my word.
Yuumi is a plague to society.
I
I
still
don't think
ban
this
her.
did
Stay
anything
here and
major.
cry.
Sivir's still going to be like the easiest AD carry to play. She's still going to be
Yeah.
really well rounded. It's just a nice little nerf to her early game, which I
Yeah.
think was
Yeah.
already pretty meh. So who cares?
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll get to Yuumi in a second, but first let's go to Silas. Q2 damage reduction now applies to minions and monsters. So I guess this is kind of help with his jungling maybe. So Q chain lash, the detonation damage was 45% reduced damage against minions. Oh no, it's against minions and monsters. Okay, so they're toning
So
down
they
his clear speed.
Specifically changed this. They
nerf.
specifically changed this 2 patches ago,
Mhm.
so Jungle Silas could be a thing, and now they're specifically changing it again. So
Yeah, we've been
Silas-
seeing it in pro play. That's why. So of course,
Yeah.
you know they're gonna
Yeah.
do that. So an R hijack. So there's a bug fix. Silas now properly heals himself when casting a hijacked R mantra empowered W renewal
Why
from
would they
Karma.
even
Okay,
include that in the,
I know that.
this part.
That's
Why wouldn't they just
all
put
right.
in the bug fixes?
There were some very angry Silas mains who were like, "What the heck? This Karma, it's not working." Anyways, yeah, so Silas jungle, a little bit nerfed. Let's go to Syndra. Q bonus damage against champions increased. E base damage increased. So Q Dark Sphere, which is her main ability, Transcendent, 15% bonus damage against champions. Now it's 25% bonus damage against champions. That's
a
interesting.
big buff.
That's huge, yeah.
I mean,
and then
we saw that weird buff last patch. Remember how we said last patch was sort of like the test the waters
the
patch?
test, yeah.
Where we'd see more people playing the champions, so Riot could decide whether they wanted to buff them more. This is
Yeah.
exactly what happened here. More people played Syndra. They found out she was still going to be really weak. So they gave her a big buff. So 10% more damage on Q. Your Q is almost always your primary damage spell on Syndra. And it's really hard to dodge because she can cast it while moving, and it has a really quick cast time.
Yep.
So that's pretty big. And then another 10 damage on your E. Not that big of a deal, but I think
Yeah.
Syndra is the most frustrating mid laner to play against, bar maybe Malzahar.
You forgot ADC. She's the best ADC.
Well,
Oh,
she's really frustrating for any squishy because of her ability to just burst you down from full health as long as she runs full combo. So maybe we'll see Syndra again. She has not been good for a long time. So
I think that the 15 damage buff is not going to make a huge difference. I definitely think that her mid game is going to be pretty good with a 10% damage buff though, because now
I think that's like an extra 40 to 50 damage
extra
on every Q.
That's
like,
quite big.
That's nice. Okay. All right, let's move
Time
on to
whip out
Tom.
my Syndra ADC.
Oh gosh. Let's not even talk about that. Tom Kench. Let's go to Tom Kench. Base movement speed decreased. E shield duration decreased. All right, they're nerfing him a little bit.
He's
so base stats.
Dead. Leave him alone.
He's still in pro play, so you know they're still going to nerf him. All right, so movement speed 345 is now down to 335, and E thick skin shield duration was 3 seconds. Now it's 2 seconds.
That's a Riot special.
Nerf him.
Three or 4 patches ago, whatever it was, when they gave him the big rework, so he couldn't eat champions and run away. They gave him the extra move speed and they gave him the extra thing because they're like, hey, he's going to be weak in the support without these changes. And then he became a top lane terror. And then they nerfed him and then they reverted any buff they gave him originally. So now he's just ridiculously worse than he ever was.
Yeah. That needs to be revived in the vault as well. Old Tom Kench.
Put him in the vault.
Boy.
He's dead.
Let's put him in the vault. He's dead.
Put him in the
now.
bin.
Okay. Let's go to Yuumi. So Yuumi, I'm sure many of us are happy. Let's talk about Yuumi.
Silence for Yuumi.
All right. Yuumi has gotten pretty nerfed this patch. Let's read Q, her prowling projectile. The empowered damage was 50 scaling to 275. Now it's 50 scaling to 225. The slow was 40 scaling to 80%. Now it's 20 scaling to 80%. The slow duration was 1.25 scaling to 1.75. Now it's just a flat 1.5 seconds. And then the cooldown was 11 scaling down to 6. Now it's 13 and a half scaling down to 6. So her early game seems to be hit big, which is pretty good. I'm happy about that. I don't know how that actually pans out yet because I've been banning Yuumi all the time, so I don't know. But this does look like a pretty big nerf.
I'd like to point out that this is almost to the point of how weak she was, how weak her Q was on release.
Yeah.
Remember when she came out and then Riot gave her like an all-around buff to every single ability?
Yeah.
These nerfs pairing with the nerf she got last patch, it almost brings her back down to the level that she was.
Which again, maybe was just because maybe she'll still be okay if you're skilled with her, you know. But
I think her release was all right because I played at 10 games on live servers before she got her hotfix buff, and I thought that she was still pretty strong then. And my predictions of her becoming a powerhouse were right. You know.
Yeah, you were. I remember that
every LCS game.
Yeah.
The thing that upsets me is this nerf is warranted. Don't get me wrong, but I really wish instead they hit her reliability because I know she's frustrating, but what they could have done is hit the reliability because it feels so bad as a Yuumi player when I'm playing her to miss that Q because of how reliable it is. And what that does to the mentality of whoever is playing her is it makes you miss more Qs. But when you start hitting over and over and over and you land every single one, it gives you that confidence to go for ones that you don't even know you will hit, and then you do, and it feels good and you get the momentum. And this is just going to make it feel so unsatisfying now because it's 50 base damage off of the empowered at max rank, and it's half of the slow value at rank 1. The slow, it sucks. I like that they flattened the slow duration. That's kind of a buff early. 0.25 seconds. Great.
Don't look at gift
I'm
horse.
still gonna cry. I'm still crying over this change. I'm gonna grieve for a while.
I'm actually okay with this because I don't play Yuumi. So
put her in the bin.
Put her in the bin. Let's put buffed Yuumi when she was buffed the hotfix. Let's put that in the vault as well. All right, let's go to Ziggs, our last champion. The WAP ratio increased, cooldown decreased early, R cooldown decreased late. So W, the satchel charge, the ratio was 0.3 ability power, now it's 0.5. Cooldown was 24 scaling down to 12, now it's 20 scaling to 12. Gives you, I guess, a little bit more escape early on. And then the ultimate Mega Inferno Bomb, the cooldown was 120 going to 90, now it's 120 scaling down to 70. So you'll be able to use it a lot more late game, which is pretty cool, I guess. Ziggs, I haven't seen a lot of Ziggs lately, but I mean, I think that's pretty good.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more Ziggs in this power plating meta. just because of how good he takes down tower plates.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this might make
too
him
many
back in the
champions.
ADC role.
I don't know.
I don't think we'll see him. I don't think we'll see him in mid lane. Maybe, but he might come back to ADC, or at least not ADC, but bot lane
Style. You're gonna take up
because
Sigs.
The champions down there are so squishy that 0.15 AP on your W, even though like most of the time you don't use your W for damage. If you do use it for damage, like to knock them into your E or something. I don't know. Could be cool.
Okay.
And 20 seconds off your ult at late game. Nobody's going to complain about that.
Definitely. All right. There's only been one rune change, and that's biscuit delivery. I noticed this right away because it seems like I get my biscuit right away. So they changed. So the number delivered is decreased. The intervals have been adjusted. Health and mana per biscuit has decreased, and the healing duration decreased. Permanent mana per biscuit increased. All right, so they did a lot of things here. So the biscuits delivered was 4, now it's only 3. The intervals was 3, 6, 9, and 12 minutes. Now it's 2, 4, and 6 minutes. It seems like you get it almost instantly when you go to lane. Health per biscuit was 15% of missing health. Now it's 10% of missing health. Health per biscuit for manaless champions was 20% of missing health. Now it's 12% of missing health. Mana per biscuit was 15% of missing mana. Now it's 10% of missing mana. Healing duration was 15 seconds. Now it's 5. Permanent maximum mana increase was 40 mana per biscuit consumption. Now it's 50 mana per biscuit consumption. So they nerfed pretty much everything except the maximum mana increase.
This is like a
That's
direct
really
nerf
bad.
to ADCs.
Yeah.
This is a big nerf for some champions, but there are going to be some champs that will be buffed by this, mainly champs that like to take biscuit delivery, but like to fight a lot early.
Yeah,
So
like
this is
every
gonna be a
80
big
carry.
nerf.
Like this is like
weird.
a direct nerf to 80 carry because every 80 carry runs boots cookies now.
Yeah, I mean, half the champions in the game are running inspiration for boots and cookies. So maybe we'll see people shifting away from inspiration second, especially since we did see a boots nerf a few patches ago.
Go back to my celerity
so
water
maybe
walking.
we go back to sorcery secondary or
Maybe.
That's true.
domination secondary.
Celerity water
Probably
walking.
good because almost every single champion in the game, or at least almost every single class in the game, had this inspiration secondary rune.
Yeah.
And they were either going biscuits and boots, biscuits and cosmic insight, biscuits and mini dematerializer, but it was so incredibly popular. So
yeah, and I mean,
we'll see
I noticed
something.
it too. I mean, I played Nami with biscuits, and I noticed it right away. Yeah, everybody running biscuits. Okay, so it's pretty big. So definitely be wary of that if you're playing a champ that gets these biscuits, and consider some possible opportunities. All right, so we won't go over the ARAM balance changes because that's ARAM. New Honor 5 rewards, new Honor 5 Chroma rewards are debuted. So
I'm so sad.
Anybody want to talk about this? I don't really know what it is.
I don't want to talk
Honor
about
4
something I won't get.
I'm Honor 4 checkpoint 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
same. I'm
Realize you had
Honor
to be
2
Honor
checkpoint.
5.
I'm Honor 1 checkpoint. Does that count?
I didn't know you had to be Honor 5 by this patch to get this. I already have these skins.
I'm not
but
sure
don't
if
have
I
the
am.
fun list.
All right, I'm not sure if I am or not.
Check.
I'm sad. Why
I
did
gotta
they do the
check.
Honor 5 rewards so early in the season? Or not so
Yeah.
early in the
Weird
season, because
that
we're
they're
late
doing
in the
it in
season.
August. They're doing it in August, which is a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
They should do it at the
they're doing
end of the season when I have Honor 5.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta work. I gotta get used to.
Can they do it next season when I get
nice.
Honor 5?
Oh yeah, right. We're not holding our breath for that style. We're not holding our
It's
breath.
just so annoying because I'm Honor 4 checkpoint 3 and I'm so close to Honor 5.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm so close to Honor 2.
Well, that's irrelevant. Let's go. Rank doesn't really affect us. They made some changes with Challenger and Grandmaster. None of us are that. None of us are that here. And if you are in that and you're listening to this podcast, you're the wrong podcast because you probably should be on here helping us.
We're basically Challenger.
Basically, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, what am I
Basically.
thinking? I'm sorry. I don't know what I was saying. All right, a bunch of bug fixes. I don't really want to go over them unless there's anything that is game breaking. Did you guys see anything? Okay.
The only thing worth mentioning here is NAR players found this cool way to redirect their E when they turn into Mega NAR.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the Riot took it away.
No, okay,
They're like, "Screw
sorry,
you."
sorry, Riot.
I mean, I have something, but I don't know if it's related.
Okay, go ahead.
What's that?
It's the Zoe. What is it? Running smite on Zoe mid. This
What
patch.
about it? What
Like
about
everyone's
it?
running. You run. What is it? You run runic
Team
echoes with Zoe, and then you go mid lane. So then you have 2 smite
I guess
because they buffed runic echoes. I mean, I don't think it's directly to this patch, but I've seen a lot of people doing it this
What are you
patch.
like taking raptors or something?
probably.
I don't know. I haven't played
Probably
it yet,
farming.
but I heard there's a lot of Zoe players taking smite now
All right.
because
Well,
because runic echoes apparently is more cost efficient than Luden.
wow.
It is.
It is.
It's
It
a very
is much
cost
more.
efficient.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's that. So if you're a Zoe player, then have fun with that, and tell your
Bot lane
junglers
Zoe,
too.
is that what I'm
Tell
hearing?
your, tell your
If you're a
junglers
Zoe-
too.
If you're a Zoe player, go in the bin.
Go in the
I
bin.
mean, I can agree with that. If we're putting
Yeah,
Yumi in the bin, we might as well put Zoe there as well.
Every player who plays a champion that I don't like, get in the bin.
Put him in the bin. I think if anything, if you guys have learned anything from this patch notes rundown, put it in the bin. Okay, that's the solution. Oh, and play Poppy. So you'll probably have a good chance.
Yeah, Poppy.
Oh, waiting. Okay.
And
All right. Well,
don't play
Poppy ADCs.
Poppy ADC. Yeah. I mean, you can play ADC support, whatever. Play Poppy anything, whatever. It's fine.
Just
It'll
play
work.
Poppy top. I don't want to take the responsibility of you guys.
No,
laying
you're
down
too
it.
late. You're too far
You're
gone.
an
We're
80
doing it.
Poppy game.
I'm doing it. Nope. Too late style. I'm
You
gonna
wouldn't
my
do it.
teams.
No, you got no balls. You
No,
got
I
no
don't.
balls to play Poppy.
I care too
ADC.
much about Elo. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. I only have one thing I'm living for, and that's franked. I can't see myself go down. All right. That's it for today. Unless do you guys have any last notes for this patch notes rundown? You guys good? I think we covered it all. Pretty thorough.
Can I make a prediction?
Oh,
I
sure.
think Syndra is going to come back to pro play in a couple patches.
I believe
That's my
you.
prediction.
She's gonna
I
come
think
back
she'll come.
tomorrow. with,
But will
Yeah.
the patch? But how does it work with the playoffs? Do they still go up the patch, or are they staying on the same patch?
Same patch.
So it's not going to
It
get
won't be this patch. It'll be 9:15.
okay.
They
So
usually mention what the world's patch is. So
okay.
This
So
won't be World's patch, but it also won't be what is it? Playoffs patch.
so they won't be able to see this change. You still sticking to that prediction though, Sajuna? Since they won't be able to play this patch on playoffs.
Maybe.
Okay.
He'll come
the-
back next
okay.
year.
There we
you know.
go. Okay. Whenever we see patch
Not next
9.6 in
year,
pro
next
play.
patch. I mean, like World's patch, because I don't think they'll
Okay.
change it too much.
So maybe. Okay, that's your prediction
I mean,
then.
you can
Whenever
make the prediction
9.16.
that if it doesn't change, like if nothing changes to Syndra, you'll see her in Worlds. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll remember that. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at theallinpodcast, lol@gmail.com, or tweet us at theallinpodcast. I want to thank my co-hosts once again, Style on 'em, Nighthawk, and Sajuna Piggle for joining me and sharing their infinite wisdom on these patch notes. But until next time, guys, enjoy your climb on the Rift or in Teamfight Tactics. Try not to get too toxic. And we will see you all on the next episode. Peace.